Welcome to the Jiu Jitsu Crucible podcast.
Roger doesn't lose this kind of control. He's not the guy who loses this kind of control. I think he got it. I think he's gonna get it.
Buchecha on the choke here, really close to finishing. Excuse me, Roger on the close to Buchecha. It looks very
He's gonna get it.
Join us as we talk about competition, recreational training, business development, and all things Jiu Jitsu. Strength and honor.
Strength and honor!
Hi guys, welcome to the Jiu Jitsu Crucible podcast. I am here tonight with two-time black belt world champion Larissa Diaz. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. I would like to say thank you very much for inviting me to the podcast. I feel very honored to be part of that.
So, Larissa, to start off, I'd like to kind of share your story. You know, if you could kind of tell everybody, you know, how old you are and, you know, where were you born, and kind of take us through, you know, like growing up until you started jiu-jitsu.
Okay. So, I was born in Brazil. I'm 26 years old. And when I was growing up, I was a chubby kid. I wasn't a sporty kid. So when I got to the age of 17 years old, I started to feel that I needed to like get a better shape and lose some weight because I wasn't happy with myself. So I started to asking my dad, my parents, to see if they could like sign me up to any type of sports or a gym so I could start like working out, do like some activity. And I was first trying to take in swim lessons. But my dad took so long to buy me like the swimsuit, the guys, the swimsuit, the goggles, the apparel that I needed, that I just joined in jiu-jitsu because I have a brother. I have a twin brother too. So he was doing jiu-jitsu because a friend from our school took him from high school. And he said, my brother and I, we were very close. So my brother said to me, hey, Larissa, why don't you join here? Like, I lost 2 pounds last training. I think if you want to lose your weight, you should try it. You should give it a try. And I was like a little bit nervous about it, you know, especially because that gym, it was like very nice, but it was mostly men training. Didn't have any girls for me to train, so I felt kind of scared a little bit. But then, like, I started to go in there to watch my brother practice, and it was very welcoming environment. They used to go out to eat after, so I became friends with them. So that made me feel more comfortable to give it a try. And at the first try, I love it. And I never stopped. That was in 2015. And I never stopped until today.
So what city were you born in?
I was born in Rio de Janeiro.
Okay. So you grew up in Rio. You know, I've been to Rio 30 times. So I've been to Rio a lot.
So you like it a lot.
I like it a lot. So what part of Rio were you born in? Zona Norte, Zona Azul?
Yeah, Zona Norte.
Okay. And what was the first academy that you started at? Did you have to go to multiple academies before the black belt, or how did that kind of happen for you?
So I started to train at the GF team at the Zona Norte in the close in my neighborhood that was closer to my house. And my professor there, um it was the first guy that I trained. His name is Mauricio, and then it was an affiliate, but the affiliate was like a little far from my house, so I trained there I think 1 month, and right after I switched to the HQ, which was closer to my house, and I started with the professor Vinicius Marinho, which is my professor that gave me the black belt. I'm a black belt under him. So when I started there, I spent 4 years there, but I trained 1 year and a half, 2 years with Vinicius, but he moved to Qatar. He started to teach, he got a job opportunity to teach the army there, and he went with his whole family. So I kind of felt like left out, you know what I mean? And like I kept going because I loved the sport, but without him it was really hard, but I kept pushing. So
So
then,
what age
yes.
were you when he moved?
I think I was about 19 or 18.
And what belt were you
Nine,
when he moved?
19, 19 because blue belt, because I was 1 year and a half as a white belt. I started 17, so 18 and a half, then 19 I was a blue belt. So, and then like he left, I was a blue belt, but like he always kept himself close to me and my brother, like by text messages, always calling us, always trying to help us in the way that he could. But and then I stayed there for 2 more years. And when I got my purple belt, I competed at Worlds and I won Worlds, IBJJF. And then when I came back to Brazil, I switched teams. I switched for to Dream March, which was Alliance, and in 2019. So because they had a really good opportunity, like they paid my college, they had like all the support for the athlete. They didn't pay like a salary or something like that, but it was like a great sponsorship. You know what I mean? So you didn't have to pay enough. They used to pay the food, the place they used to live, and plus the college. So it was really good. So I moved because of the opportunity. And then I started competing for them. I stayed there. I was there for 2 years, 2019 until 2021. Then, but when the COVID came, I started thinking about moving to the US because in Brazil didn't have any tournaments, and I was like, well, about like 6 months to 7 months without training, so I started having the idea of about moving to the US. In 2021 I moved here, and I start working as an athlete, then start teaching some classes.
So when you joined Dream Art, did you move to São Paulo?
Yes, I
And
lived
did
there.
Was Anderson with you?
Yes, we both moved together.
And what age were you when you got your black belt?
I was 22 or 23 because it was 2021. And I've been 3 years of black belt, 23 actually, because I'm 26 now.
And so how did the opportunity or the journey happen, especially because that was a very difficult time during COVID? How did the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity or the
To come
journey
here.
happen, yeah, to leave Rio and come to the United States?
So what happened? That I got to meet some people like in the tournaments that they had a gym,
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the gym, it was MJN. Now it's New Journey. They are
Yeah.
established in St. Cloud
Yes.
in Florida, and they used to have a partner, which
Mm-hmm.
his name used to be Marcel. So Marcel, he was super busy with the schedule and the class because the gym was growing up, was going really good, and he had two athletes, which was John and Lucas. So we were when we met them, we were in a Pan American tournament, but we were doing a camp in fight sports
Okay.
to prepare for a tournament. So we stayed 2 months, and then we met those people, and we met Marcel, and we started like liking them, getting close, and then he said to us like, "Oh, if you guys should stay," something like that. And then we had the idea, but we went back to Brazil again, and then like in Brazil we start like thinking even more because like the opportunity here was much better. Like we start to learn English, and in Brazil the opportunities to live with the jiu-jitsu, it was harder. We would have to get like another job, or I mean start learning more like about business or do something not close to jiu-jitsu. Now it's a little better, but in the time it was harder. So we decided to move, and we talked to them. We say, no, we are very interested. We really like you guys. So if there is opportunity to us, we just wanna like train, and the deal, it was like for them to be our sponsors and pay like our tournaments and help us to like stay and stuff like that, and we had our sponsorships, so that would help us to keep living here, like in and because we didn't came to teach class, right?
Gotcha.
So that's what happened, and then we stayed there for a little bit of time, and they got into they stopped have the partnership with the Brazilian guy, with the Marcel. So we were there because of Marcel, so it didn't make sense to us, you know, to stay there. And then we got to know like the people from Elementum, which is the
Mm-hmm.
gym that we are working. Like it's been 2 years and a half, and then like we were about to move to Minnesota because we were going to have opportunity there,
Mm-hmm.
but Tarsis saw that like we were hardworking kids, we like to train and we love Florida, and he started like helping us until like and teaching us like how to live with jiu-jitsu, how to make a living with jiu-jitsu, how to be able to like make a living,
Mm-hmm.
and then the opportunities start coming. He started like opening more opportunity for us at the gym, and we today we like have a great relationship. We are so grateful for him, and like we love working there.
So, as you know, Larissa, there's so much talent in Rio and in São
Hmm.
Paulo, Manaus, and all over Brazil.
Yes.
I know this might be a hard question, but why do you think you and your brother took the opportunity to leave? Because there are so many people with a great level of jiu-jitsu in Brazil, and they could have these amazing lives and opportunities, and so many of them never end up leaving Brazil. Why do you think that is?
So, first, I think there's people that they really like to live in Brazil, and the culture. Like, I love Brazil, but when I came here, like, I learned so much because of the American culture is a little different. Like, there's great things in both, and like thank God I had the mindset to combine both and try to be the best version of myself. You know, like the warm weather of like hugging, getting people close to you that the Brazilian have, and the smart and business wise from the American side of it. You know, so combine both. It's like you're it's really good for the business, for jiu-jitsu to make a living yourself. You know, you open a lot of opportunities because there's a lot of people, for example, in Brazil, that they're really good, really talented, but they don't know how to explain, to have a conversation. They're sometimes shy, you know, they don't know how to express whatever they want to say or whatever they want to represent, you know. And I learned a lot that here because in America, I feel that anything can become a business. You just need to believe it in the product and it will become a success. So to learn how to transfer that to jiu-jitsu, that's the challenge. So I think sometimes people they just like to live in Brazil, you know, and they can make a living there. They are satisfied. I wasn't. You know, I wasn't satisfied. And when I came here a few times, like in California, I don't like California. But when I came to Florida, I was like, this is real for me. But this is even better, you know, because there's more opportunities and I like that. So I think it's more like preference. Or sometimes they're scared because of like the visa process. It's a long time. They have to stay away from your family, and people are really close there. I'm not saying that in United States they're not, but like the culture is like it, people like to stay together, like the family, they don't live in different states of Brazil, you know. They try to live all in the same state all together all the time. So I think it's hard. It was very hard for me to move from here to São Paulo. It was terrible. Like I cried so much in the first months, then the first 6 months, but then I started learning. And when I moved here, it was way worse because like I didn't know when my visa would get approved, so when I'm gonna see my family again, you know?
And how long did
So
it take for your visa to be approved after you applied?
so my athlete visa took 6 months. But
So
then
not
yeah,
okay.
but then when I switched to gyms, I had to do the whole new process again. So more 6 months,
Gotcha.
you know?
And now that you're a two-time world champion, it's I don't want to say easy, but especially for you, it's going to be pretty easy to get a green card. I think it's going to be long. It might be expensive, but like
Yeah.
you're for sure like, one of the elite women. So you've started that process, correct?
Yes, it's been a year. I applied last year, July 17. So it's about a year that I'm waiting, you know. So because I wanna like this is the place that I wanna live. I really like here. I really like the connections. I think America, like United States, it's a great country. It taught me great lesson. I mature so much here, so I'm so grateful for this country. And I know that I have to do a green card process to live here, like sooner or later.
Hmm.
So why delay that? So I prefer to do it now and I can wait, then like have the rest of my life to enjoy with my family, bring them here or go there and travel places, then wait and like something happen, I lose the opportunity, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've told you this, but like I was Canadian, so I went through the green card
Yeah.
process. Now I'm an American. I'm a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel for you because you get anxious and you want to get it like yeah, like I'm glad it's behind me because I'm a control freak and I found it hard. Um,
Yes.
so this is a question I ask all Brazilians. And I'm going to ask you, and I think it's even more relevant for you being a woman. You're a newly two-time world champion. I think the problem so many Brazilians come, because as you know, I have many Brazilians live with me.
Yeah.
And then when they come and they live together, they only speak Portuguese together. And that's
Yeah.
normal, of course, it's their culture.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, you have a very high level of English. If you look at all the adult female black belt world champions, who do you think has as good as English as you?
Mm,
Maybe Tyann because she lived overseas, but
yes.
but yeah, she didn't even win. Gabby beat her in the finals, but like
Yeah.
like it's so important. And I've had my son, Henzo, and we've gone to AOJ multiple times for him to train. And the one piece of credit I will give to the Mendez brothers, they always tell the young athletes, no, you have to speak English. And you and your brother speak incredibly good English for the amount of time
Thank
you've
you.
been in the US. So if you were going to talk to your countrymen and countrywomen, how important would you tell them it is to learn English?
So it's like very important. I mean, you living in United States, you need to know to speak their language, so you can communicate and you can be good at your work. For it's because I think I understand when they get together. Like when I'm with Brazilian, I speak Portuguese a
Of
lot,
course.
but like to learn I had to start becoming friends with more American people.
Hmm.
And I made these connections, and I wasn't like every time that make a friend that they like live here and they speak English and I like this person, I wanted to keep talk to them, because they're helping me. But it's hard. It's hard because it's challenging. I have faced like so many people that was like sometimes when I speak something wrong, they like make fun of me or something like
Hmm.
that. Nowadays it got better with the time. Like my English got better and I try to study all the time. And my coach Tarsus, his English, he comes to the US I think since he's a kid. He's super since he was very very young. So he came here to learn English and study. So his English is very good, and he teaches me a lot. I have a friend too, Bruno. He's the guy who plans our curriculum at the gym, elemental, the beginner's curriculum. He runs it really well, and he speaks like amazing English. So I try to surround myself with people that are in the level that I want to be. So I always tell my friends, if they want to learn English, don't be shy. If people make fun of you, it's okay. Ignore it, but keep learning, because at the end of the day, when you have your own gym, when you have to give an interview or talk to somebody about your work, about your life, about your journey, you're gonna feel proud of yourself that you step up.
Like this podcast.
Yes, exactly. And it's hard for me because I know that I'm not in the level that I want to be, but I'm walking towards it. That's what makes me happy. And yeah, I just tell them to try to be the best in whatever they do. If they want to teach United States, they need to know English very well to be able to give the best service, right?
Hmm.
Because in Portuguese, I can nowadays it's hard for me to teach in Portuguese because I talk most of my days in English, so I mix it up the words, and it's not as clarified as when I'm teaching English. So,
Yeah,
but
I
I
mean, but I think it's important for all the Brazilians to know because I've
yeah.
brought so many here and I've helped so many get their green card. And it's just like you're a great example because, again, the pool of female athletes is so much smaller than male athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you know, we have a seminar next year, and it's an all-woman seminar. So I need someone with a high level of jiu-jitsu. Of course, I want a world champion, and now I need a world champion that speaks English. That's a really, really small list. To my
Yes.
knowledge, it's you and Maisa. I
Yeah,
don't think
Maisa
any of the
speaks
other
really well.
I don't think any of the other girls speak English. So it's like to be a female world champion is that small. Now to speak
Yeah.
English, it's like that. It's
Yes.
so yeah, I just hope that everyone listening to this podcast, whether you're Brazilian or you're American, we try to help all the athletes here because it's so important to me. I have athletes here all the time for my son, and so many of them try to learn, and so many of them won't even try.
Yeah, you
And
gotta try. That's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Sometime when I started, like the funny thing is that I always have liked English, but I didn't came from a wealthy family. So I went to private school, but that was it. My parents didn't have money to pay English English lessons or any type of like extra. Like, and I used to go to the private school because my parents like got a big discount because of my grades and stuff. I was a good student. So, but I always liked English because of the TV series. I used to watch a lot like Nickelodeon. I used to like a lot when I was a kid, like Hannah Montana, and all these TV shows. I used to watch Disney XD. So all my parents, they're very like strict with. They used to be very strict with me and my brother. So whatever we were singing or talking, we need to know what does it mean. What does that mean? So my mom used to say, "Hey, you sing this song in English, you don't even know what they're talking about. If they saying bad stuff." So I had to translate that and know what he was talking about. So I started picking up some words, and remembering. And once I started training jiu-jitsu, a lot of people they used to go to GF team headquarters to train. A lot of people from all overseas, and I used to try to talk to them using the translator when I didn't know the word. So all of that like helped me and pushed me since I never like did an English course to learn. Like I struggle a lot with my grammar because I learn by teaching, by talking. I never like really study. I'm starting like now this summer. I'm taking lessons, you know, because I want to improve that part so I can express myself in a better way. I can really say what I want to say, what I mean it. Because sometimes I don't have the right words. I don't know how to position in my sentence in the right way that I want, that I'm thinking. So I think it's just like a will. And like in jiu-jitsu, you're not good at jiu-jitsu at first, but you go and try your first tournament. And then you get crushed, and then you try again, and you try again, and you try again until you get better. All right?
So this is a question that my students ask me a lot. And I've never had a chance to ask a female world champion this. So I'm really kind of excited to ask you this question. Now, you know, you're very fit and you're very strong, especially for, a female. But how important to your development do you think training with men has been? And if you're going to be in a camp, do you think you need to train with men and women? Do you prefer to have both? Do you prefer just to train with men? What are your thoughts on that as a world champion?
Okay, so this is a really good question. And I mean, I always say to people that like you are the one that make your own training. You have the power to make your training good or bad. Because for example, usually I don't have a lot of female, especially because like I'm tall, I'm like heavy. I weigh 180 pounds. So I'm not average size.
Not at all. No.
So that's hard for me. And also, if I have to compare to men, if I train with a man same height and same weight as me, the strength it's not the same. They are super stronger and heavier, and they can, and like even though they're the most gentle guy can ended up like hurting me by falling a weird way, and or they can try, they don't even try to do something, so it's not realistic situations for either way, neither for them neither for me. So usually I like to train with the guy. I love to train with the guys. And because like um for me, I like to pick the lighter ones because
Yeah.
I can do something, you know. And they speed me up and they want to crush me on the ground.
Yeah.
So when I'm going to compete with the girls, I know it's not gonna be worse than train with them. So I like to suffer when I'm doing my camp. I like to struggle because that helps my mindset when I go to the competition. And so I feel like this is not worse than training, so I can escape from this position. And when I have opportunity to train with the girls, like the girls that like to go hard, it's amazing, but it's just like hard to find girls at my size. So I usually train with the guys, the lighter ones, like about the most heavy guy that I like really like to train, he's 152 and he kills me. It's my friend Bruno. And so I like to do that. I have one girl at the gym, at Elementum. She's about my size a lot. I love to train with her. Anna, she's a blue belt, and she's learning, she's getting like tough. So it's really good to train with her. But I really think that training with the guys, it's really good, because it depends on the person. Like, I like to pass through the hard situations, so when I'm in the tournament, I felt this is easy. I feel this is like easier. Not easy, but easier than my training, right? So I really like to train with them.
Do you think this is a fair thing to say, in your opinion? If we're talking to a girl and she's up and coming, and my daughter is always with me at the pyramid, she loves to watch you fight, and she's going to be 12 on Friday. And,
Nice.
do you think, in your opinion, it's important to say, like, if you want to reach my level, a two-time black belt world champion, it's going to be easier if you embrace training with men?
Um, well, depends. I think yes, but she needs to know, because she needs to know how like I said, to make her training good. Because there's men and men. Like, there's men, like, they're light ones that they're not gonna let you do nothing. But they're ones that they're gonna give a hard training, but they're gonna speed you up, but they're gonna exchange with you. Like, there's some girls that they just train with boys and they get savage, wild.
Yeah.
But you need to know how to like manage your training so you get technical. Because the thing is, like, if I just train with the boys, with all of them, I get like crazy and savage and tough and strong, but no technique. So if I go like back and forth with them, if I put myself in the right spot, try to use my technique, because I need to be ready to suck a lot, because that's what's gonna happen. But then if I drill a lot, like what I do is like I drill a lot my techniques. I drill a lot my techniques, and when I go with them, if I do, for example, a Toreando pass, and I did it, I score advantage on them. I know that in the group probably because if it's equal sizes and weight, I will pass the guard because it's gonna be the same level of strength and speed and all of that. So, but then, so I need to manage. I need to drill a lot and practice my technique with the girls. That's what I like to do. For example, I'm training with lighter girls or the girls that are like a lower rank than I. I practice my technique. I don't use my strength at all. For example, I have a girl that I train with her because I know she's got very good passes attempt and I wanted to improve my guard. So what do? I do guard retention without my hands and I use my feet around her body and try to keep up with her, you know? Because if I go with a boy, he's too fast for me, so I'm not gonna be able to do something. If I go with her, I'll be able to control, you know, and it's gonna be better. So I would say go with the guys so you can get strong, you can learn how to handle struggle and pressure, but don't forget to train and drill and be technical with the girls. And the girls are mostly usually they the girls that train with the guys that they know how to train, they get very technical,
Let,
you know.
I said I wasn't going to ask you a hard question, but I might ask you one right now.
Okay, that's good.
You're you're just so realistic when you talk, and you're very matter of fact, and you're just kind of telling it how it is. Why do you think so many women struggle with saying all the things that are true that you've said? Oh, this guy's 150 pounds, but he can crush me. Men the same weight as me, the strength is not even. He's
No.
so much stronger. The men are so much faster, and you're just being completely honest and realistic. Why do you think so many women struggle with that in jiu-jitsu?
I don't know. Like I like to sometimes I think that people they like to believe in a different way, you know? I like to humble myself always. So that's why like I always get like the guy I always train with the guys and they always like friends with me and they help me so much because like I don't want to beat them. I want to like train like for me it's not personal. He's just like an avatar in my opinion, you know? And I'm an avatar too. So I'm training my skills and I share with them. They talk to me. I think you should do that, Larissa. I think you should go like this harder. Or so we exchange it a lot. I'm not competing against them. So I think sometimes the women that they want to hide like the biologic side of it, it's because they're competing against. No, I'm competing alongside them. They're not like they don't are they don't make me feel like fear or they make me feel that like they're better than they. No, we just like in our own journey. I mean, I'm in my own journey and I'm taking advantage that they're good and they're faster than me and they're better than me in some ways and I need to have that because if they're better, they're gonna push me to be better. For example, if I'm 50 miles an hour and I train with the guy, for example, that is 70 miles an hour, I'm gonna get, for example, 55. So when I'm going with the girl that is 50 miles an hour, I'm gonna be faster, you know? So I'm just using my material, my human material to get better. So I'm not against them, never. I like them and I'm competing like alongside them, you know?
One, you said a couple of things that I think are important. You said, you're always trying to humble yourself. And how important do you think it is for everybody, not just women,
Yeah,
to
I think
understand that training is just that? It's only training, it's not competing.
yes. And people It's because for me, to me, like I see jiu-jitsu like a work. I really see jiu-jitsu as a work for me. So for me to win a world title, it's amazing. Like I worked hard, and my hard work was paid off. But this is it. You know, it's like when you have a job and you get a promotion. That's what I see. I don't think like I'm better than somebody because I won a tournament. And to win a tournament, like I always say that to my partners, training partners, and students, everybody, like you need to be in your day to win like a world tournament. It's not because you better. Like I don't think I was better. Like I feel better than Iara, the girl that I did the finals. I think I was in my day. My camp was perfect. My week was perfect. My day was perfect. Everything went perfect. It was like God picked the day to be mine. Like last year wasn't mine, it was the other lady. The other year, 2023, I lost in the finals. It was Melissa's day. So I think when I start understanding that, things in life start getting easier. And I'm always scared to let like a world title or something like that will pass with the time get over my head. So I always keep an eye on it, because what matters is the people that were helping you to get there. Because if you don't have a good training partners, people that don't want to hurt you, that want you to get better, that are not competing against you at the gym and just like pushing you, and you have a great environment, that's what matters. That's what's gonna make you get there. And that's what happened to me. And I realized that since I started like competing a lot, I realized that like if you win, you're a genius. If you lose, you trash. So the people that are around you, your friends, your true friends, they're gonna be there. You're a champion for in their heart, winning or losing. So that's what matters. So people sometimes they let like the fame, the 5 minutes of fame or the hype get in their mind, and they forget about that, and sometimes realize it later, or sometimes they don't even realize. They start living under that vibe, and I don't like that.
So when you were 17, you started jiu-jitsu. You said you got your blue belt 18 and a half. How early do you remember thinking I want to be a world champion? At like what age or level?
I think since I started to train in the competition training, because at the HQ at GF Team, I used to do the normal classes, like the beginners classes. And then like when I was like about 1 year there, my professor said, "Hey, you want to compete?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And he asked me like, "Aren't you scared?" And I said, "No," but inside of us, inside of me, I was. So I started compete a house in-house tournament, and I won. I was so happy. I think I celebrate more than when I won worlds. And after that, he told me, "Hey, Larissa, if you want to keep competing, I can talk to Master Julio, which is the owner of the team, so you can start coming to the competition training, because it was only blue belts and up allowed." But since I was like doing good, like under his evaluation, he said that he could say that to him. So he said yes. Master Julio said yes, and me and my brother we start going to the competition training, and like that, it's crazy. It's so many people. It was sometimes about 50 people training from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. And like sometimes I used to wait like 2 hours to get one roll. With like when the higher belts, for example, when Maisa was a purple belt, like world champion, all that stuff, I was just a blue belt, white belt there. And I used to drill with her a lot because she used to train a lot. She was a great girl, great inspiration. Train a lot, and sometimes I used to drill with her. and she used to teach me berimbolo sometimes. So it was so good, it was a great thing. But my professor said, and I started going there and I started learning from them, from her, Amanda Canuto, Tamires Aquino, all of these girls. They were like purple belt, like savage, and I was just getting crushed. So I train with them, you know and I start like seeing them going to compete and winning, and I said, "Hey, like why you win when you win a tournament? Why you get?" "Oh, nothing, just a medal." And I said, "Really?" And because I never did like a sport before, jiu-jitsu was my first sport, so I thought they used to get like millions or a lot of money. And I said, "Oh, do I want to do that? I think I'm going to stick to college." But then like I also know I love this. I want to do this every day. I need to figure out a way to make a living with that. And I think a blue belt, I started to like really like, I want to win this. I want to be the best that I can at this sport so I can have an opportunity. Because in Brazil, like if you're a like a IBJJF world champion, like you get a lot of opportunities like seminars. And I used to see all these black belts like doing seminars and traveling around the world and making a living under like with jiu-jitsu. So I started saying, "Oh, I think I can do that too."
So you mentioned briefly that you took a lot of inspiration from Maisa.
Yes.
When you look at all the great women in the sport of jiu-jitsu before you, who do you kind of look at and say like, she's a legend, she's awesome, she motivated me, she paved the way for women? Like, what are some of the women's names that come to your mind?
So in my mind come of course Maisa Bastos, um Natiele, Amanda Silva. This girl, she didn't fall as a black belt worlds, but she used to be really good as a blue belt. And she used to be like a world champion, and she motivated me a lot. And mostly my training partners, I had two great girls that her names are Tamiris and Jessica, and they were like purple and brown belts. They live in Dubai now,
Mm-hmm.
and they teach there. So they were always like helping me and teaching me, taking me aside and motivating me. "Oh, keep going." And then when they moved, they started like kind of sponsoring me and like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay a subscription. Go to this place," and even pay like airplane tickets and helping me, letting me stay in their house when I used to go to compete the World Pro Abu Dhabi. So I had a lot of good people around me that pushed me. They might not be famous in jiu-jitsu, but they paved the way not just for me, but a lot of they help like behind the scenes. And I really like, you know I think there's a lot of like great people that they're not in the spotlight, but they make us get there. They help us to get there, you know.
So maybe another hard question. If you were going to
Hmm.
say, and you can't say yourself, obviously, but who do you think, in terms of accomplishment and technique, who would you say are the top three female jiu-jitsu athletes of all time?
So first, of course, Gabi Peçanha. She's really good, and
In
she's
your
so.
opinion, in your opinion, why is she so dominant?
I think because she believe a lot in herself, you know. Sometimes I don't think, like I think that the girls are really good. Like for example, Iara, Isadora, Tamiris, that they usually fight open class with her. and I think they're really good, but I think her mindset is really good. Like, I don't think she's like way more skilled than they. I think she believes and she tries until the end, you know? And that's what makes the difference when you go there, you know? Sometimes you don't sometimes you don't need to have like the best or the greatest jiu-jitsu, you know, to win. To win, you need to believe it here. Cause if you have the best jiu-jitsu but you don't believe here, when you get there with the pressure, it's hard. You know, so I think her mindset's really good, and she believes a lot in herself, and that's really important. You know, she tries until the end. If people get her in bad position, I've seen girls passing her guard and girls like attacking her back, and she tries until the end. You know, that's why.
Who's number two?
Number two, I think Maisa. Yeah. I think in ways of like, if we talk about skills, I think Maisa is the top one skill level. But achievements, Gabi Pesania. So, and the third one, let me see, that is really good to like level of jiu-jitsu, I think Yara. She's really good. She's very technical.
Now, have you ever considered, because I know it's a lot different, and I know a lot of IBJJF athletes get asked this. Have you ever had any consideration for ADCC?
Um, I don't know. So, in I trained most of my life in Brazil. So when the time when I used to train there, no gi wasn't like really a thing,
Yeah.
you know? So now it is there too. But so I never trained and I never competed no gi. So I started like training wrestling last year and I really like it. And this year I'm start like taking privates with a wrestling coach, and I'm training nogi with my friends, and I'm thinking about competing at nogi pants. But like it's a long road until ADCC because um
But
I
you're
think
young.
I'm hmm?
You're young. You could
Yeah,
do
yeah.
ADCC in a few years.
Yes, I think that might be an option, you know, but I have a lot of projects going on, so I don't know if competing is gonna still be like my number one thing. Because I really love to teach, you know, I have like the girls program and I really wanted to keep pushing and keep like growing there more and more. So, um I don't know if in a few years I'm gonna be still competing, you know. So, but if I'm still competing, of course, yes, I wanna do one day ADC, but that is not like my dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So can you try to describe to everybody what was it like when you got your hand raised for your first black belt world title? Like what were the emotions? What were you thinking?
So honestly, it was relief because I promised my mom when because I didn't finish college. So my mom said, Larissa, I don't. She used to help me. I had like 75% scholarship, so the rest of it she used to pay for me. So my mom said, Larissa, I don't have more money. If you want to quit college to go live in the US and live your dream. So you need to be the best in it and make a living because you are grow, you know, in the fights it's hard. And I said, Mom, please believe me, I'll try my best. I will not die until I win this. And when I won, it was like because I thought myself that would I would win like at the age of 26 or later, and I won. I was 23. I got my black belt like 6 months later as I won. So I was so happy and surprised, you know, and I was relieved. That was relief totally for my mom.
Was it emotional?
Yes, yes. I cry so hard, and my brother too, because we have walking like alongside a long time in training and like working hard to keep sustaining, maintaining our jiu-jitsu tournaments and preparations. So for us it was like a big achievement and so happy, and because so many people, it's hard. There's so many good people there, and people that work hard, that they do everything, and they sometimes ended up never getting a world title. And I felt very blessed. Yeah.
So, can you take a few minutes and maybe just talk about the bond with your brother? Because it's extra special. I've seen you guys interact. And I think, for people watching this and that have little girls, I mean, I think one of the reasons that you are a great role model is because you won at 23, you have great English, you're so close with your brother. And yes, I know he's your twin, but I know a lot of
No, but
twins that
we
don't even
fight a
talk.
lot. We fight a lot too, but we stick together.
Yeah. So tell us about the bond. Like, what does your brother mean to you? Because you guys are always together,
Yeah.
drilling, working, living.
Yeah, no, he means a lot to me. I love him so much in first place. And I admire him a lot. He's a really hardworking guy, and for everything in his work, in his preparations, he do whatever he needs to do to achieve his dreams, and he never gives up. So, and he pushed me so much, especially on our diet, because I'm not very disciplined on the diet. I am now because of him. Like, he taught me how to stop eating sugar and stuff like that. So he taught me a lot, and he always the type of guy that wants to be the best in whatever he's doing. So he works for it. He not just like tell or say that to people with the words. He means it, and he does it. He study a lot. He train a lot, work out a lot. So to be around people like that, like my brother, it's like a partner in life, and we were so blessed to we have chose the same dreams. We fight a lot because he's a perfectionist and I'm not. So he said, Larissa, you're not gonna sweep anybody doing like that. Lazy. And I said, I will when I sweep you, bro. And then the fight starts. And then Tarsh is there to separate the fight, but we stick together, because we love each other in first place. And we know each other's like journey, and I think we admire each other a lot, you know?
So it's, I think it's really interesting because I think that family bond has probably made your journey easier. But,
Mm-hmm. Of
you know,
course.
I've spent so much time in Brazil and I've had so many Brazilians around me, and I think like anything, whether it be people, not everybody is a good person. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, you've talked a bit about Tarsus. I think Tarsus is a really good person. He'll always welcome my son if he wants to go train there. He's very friendly. And I think you're a really good person. I think it's reflected in your relationship with your brother. And one thing I want to touch on is behind you on the wall, there's the Our Father prayer.
Yeah.
So, so just in closing, because not everybody in jiu-jitsu is a good person. And I think it's important for people to know that. I walk into academies all the time and the instructor's sitting against the wall texting on his cell phone. And
Mm-hmm.
he's not engaged. And I think just because you're a black belt doesn't mean you're a great teacher or you're a great
No,
person.
no,
But
not at
like
all.
what role has your faith played for you?
So first, like I'm a Christian, so
Mhm.
I believe in Jesus. And in the Bible has a verse that I love that says, in whatever we're doing, we need to do like the best that we can, because we need to think that we're doing for God. Even though like we're doing, like we're cutting somebody's grass. We're not cutting for the people, we're cutting for God. So we need to do our best. And of course, like the love that I have to Jiu-Jitsu, and like um because I believe in Jesus, and always the Bible says the fruits of the spirit. And like it's honest, to love, and like to be good to other people, not have anger, forgive. So I try, I don't say that a lot, but I try to live with my actions. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the way that I believe, because if you say stuff, doesn't matter. What matters, it's your actions. So my faith, my parents, they're Christian. I'm Christian since I was born, and they taught me all these lessons. So I take that to my life. And jiu-jitsu for me, it's a lifestyle. So in jiu-jitsu changed my life. So when I'm teaching, when I'm there, like each student there for me like a world championship. It's a challenge that I need to achieve. So each of them, like I can impact their life. So I feel so blessed that somebody's walking towards our gym to learn from me because they see me as an example. So I feel super like happy and honored, and I wanted to help them. And this our father pray, it was a student that she gave it to me, and she means a lot to me. She's a 55 years old woman, and she trains a lot. I want to be like her one day, Amy. And she went to jiu-jitsu because she wanted to have a bond with her son, and it changed her life, and she loves it. And there's a lot of other stories at our gym, and I want to be there. Sometimes I'm even picky with my students, and I tell them, please don't take this personal. It's because you guys really matter to me. I really want to give my best to you. I don't want to just you leave. I teach something, I get my paycheck, and you leave. No, I want to make sure that you're learning, that you having whatever I need to provide to you. So, and if I can support that, like women, men in jiu-jitsu, and help them change their lifestyles because of jiu-jitsu, I will do that because it's something that I love to do. I don't love compete. I like to compete in competition. It was a tool for me to work discipline, focus, and to believe in myself, to not to quit. It was a tool for me, and I ended up liking. But to impact people's life, this is whole another level. I always tell my students that I love more, I like more teach than go there and compete. I miss, like this year I went to Worlds. Like last year I went to Worlds and I had to miss my class, which is Wednesday. I was so mad, and I was looking at the camera while I was in California. And this year I said, Tarsus, I'm not gonna miss my class. I'm going Thursday to Worlds. I'm going to Thursday, Wednesday I'm gonna teach. Thursday I'm going. I have one day to rest. I don't want to miss that. It's because it's something that means to me. I like to do that. I'm passionate about it. Do that. It's not like I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt and all that I know to do is jiu-jitsu. So to make a living, I need to open a gym. No, I love to be there and teach people. If I was like rich and had all the money in the world, I would choose to be there every day. So when you love, you do it like your best. Sometimes when you're an athlete, you love to compete and you don't like to teach. So there's
Yeah.
different in between.
So Larissa, our time is up. I wanted to thank you, so much for your time. You're very gracious, and I would encourage anybody that I know, reach out and get in touch with Larissa. I'd encourage you to bring her in for a seminar.
Mhm.
And if you have a hard time getting of a hold of her, reach out to me and I can put you guys in touch. And
Thank you.
Larissa, just again, through your jujitsu, your personality, your relationship with your brother, your faith, I think you're an amazing role model and you're doing a lot of great things for women's jujitsu. So thank you so much. Because I think a lot of times women don't get to hear that enough.
Yeah. No, but thank you so much. Thanks so much for that. I feel so good, because I feel that God blessed me that with that, you know. And I just wanted to be like a light in somebody's life. I want to help, and because I have been helped so much. People helped me a lot. People lift me up. So if I can give it back a little bit, that's all that I want. And I do that by doing my best every day. I listen to people. I help them. I just like give my time, because that's the most precious thing that you can do for somebody. Give your time to them, listen to them, be there for them. So I love that, and I hope that God keep like blessing me and helping me to keep striving. And yes, that's what I am. Like, I don't care about like titles and stuff. This all of that will pass. Like, I go to worlds, and in that big screen, I don't know a lot of names that show up there, but the legacy that you build on people's life, that's unforgettable. So that's what I believe, and thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for all your audience and all the people that will watch that. Guys, keep training jiu-jitsu. It's the best thing in your life. Okay.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
You've been listening to the Jiu Jitsu Crucible podcast. Stay sharp, stay humble, and train hard.